what I've been doing this morning is the final harvest on the mini broccoli. The mini broccoli will put up a center stalk, and then over the next few weeks it'll put up a whole bunch of side ones, and they're small. They're like this, but they're really delicious. And this is, I think, our 4th harvest off of these, and I just have been looking through to see if it's worth letting them sit any longer, and my conclusion is it's not. They're done. If I were to wait another month, maybe, assuming they weren't killed by the heat, they would probably produce some more side shoots. That is not worth it for us. So I'm going to cut these off. I'll double check to make sure there's no other little side shoots in here that I've missed. And that's it for these guys. This pot will be reused for something else. What I'm doing is I'm keeping track of how long each plant produced for. So I know when I did the first harvest on these, and today is the last harvest. I actually have that in my computer. So I'll be able to look at it and know how long I can count on one of these guys on an average year being good for. Making sure I haven't missed anybody. And I haven't. So that means this pot is done. Means all the dead leaves come out of here. And I'll have to decide what goes in here next. This is regular broccoli. And this head here is ready to harvest. These two are getting there, but this one's ready. So, I think professionally they actually use like a big machete thing to harvest these things. The last time I had to go get a knife too, because I couldn't figure out how to cut it.
I'll get you a knife.
Yeah, give me the one I harvest with regularly.
Yep.
Now it may seem strange that these are in the shade here, but they get enough bright sunlight that obviously they're loving it, but it makes it a lot cooler for them.
Your shears will be over here in the
In the can?
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, this last couple of weeks, Henry and I have been using a big can to keep small tools in, and it works great. So if you have a pair of nippers or shears or anything else, they just go in there. There we go. Woo-hoo-hoo. Not bad, huh? That's pretty. Take off these big leafy things. This guy's going to go in the fridge, and he's going to be part of dinner. Now these smaller leaves, particularly on the mini broccoli, but also even on some of the regular broccoli, are perfectly good to eat because they're so tender. By the time you get anything like that at the grocery store, usually you don't want to eat them. They've gotten kind of tough and beat up. But yep, that's dinner. And we found that so far the full-size broccoli just don't produce as much in the way of side shoots. So basically what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to, there's 4 broccoli plants in here. This one was harvested, I want to say about a week ago. Then this one's harvested. Next one will be this guy, and then this guy. and they're all going to be off in the next week, I think. Then, unless I'm seeing a major amount of side shoots, we're just going to eliminate this pot. It requires quite a bit of water to keep these guys happy, so I will shift out. I have currently got some pots in the greenhouse where I am growing kohlrabi. This is also a kohlrabi pot, and some of these are now large enough that we can harvest them. This is, I think this is Conan, but I could be wrong. Let's see. It was legal in here. I should have a label. I have an angry Jay over there yelling at me. That's funny. Anyway, yeah, so I have this pot here. Like I say, I think that's Conan. And then in the greenhouse, I have some that are tiny, 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 and they are Terric. And I'll be shifting things like that out here. I'm also going to, I have planted out 4 sweet potatoes so far, not in a round pot, but in a big square bucket thing. The square buckets are a little fragile, so I don't like to move those too much, but now that I'm starting to get some empty buckets here, I may shift some of the stuff back and forth and get some of the sweet potatoes planted in here. We grew them in buckets last year, and for the size of the buckets, we got a decent harvest. So I'm willing to do that, because by keeping them in a small bucket, we can concentratedly fertilize them and water them and all that other kind of stuff. And for what we're putting into them in energy, we get quite a bit back. So, and actually the sweet potato slips that we're using this year actually came from our leftover sweet potatoes. We had just a couple of sweet potatoes left from last year that we'd saved just to see if we could, and it worked great. So we've actually, all our sweet potato slips this year are coming from last year's harvest, which is coming from a couple of sweet potatoes we bought in the grocery store. Not a bad deal. Not bad. Not bad. This is really our first year growing broccoli, and it's been delightful. It's been delightful. So get these in the house, and they will be part of dinner. So, plan? Next plan?
First, I'm going to take care of this trash, and then I'm going to put a box over there, and I'm going to start filling it.
Awesome. Okay, cool.